Alright, you know what time it is. Another initial impressions. You're probably going to hear some noise with the reefer trailers and the lawnmowers over here to my left. Can't help that. You got to get these in when I can, especially when I'm at work. Do it during my breaks. My one break I get. That's all I get. If I get that, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to use my new sow belly that's very sharp to open it. Probably should have zoomed out a little bit. This came from Deadwood again. I'm addicted to that place. The only reason why I went through Knife Works is because Deadwood didn't have this particular handle, and every time I seen it, man, I'm just a sucker for oranges and greens. And that's why this one's one of my favorite. My wife likes the amber bone, and this is a small enough Stockman that I think that if I didn't like it, she could take it. Plus, I don't know, it's always just like the old G color, the amber bone. So here we go. Will my luck run out today? And I don't know what that was, but if you see that, that was weird. That was me. Static, I guess, came off of the box on the screen. Amber bone, peach seed jig, medium Stockman. There's the model number, 6318. 6 bone, 3 blades, 18. The model number, and sterling silver. SS True Sharp. So let's put this blade away before I cut myself with it again. Got a nice snap. If you watched yesterday, this blade barely opened. So now, and I did the paper test. There's a paper test you can do. Fold a piece of paper, run it through there. I see how much I can pull it up about this far under each blade. I know I'm not going to get blade wrap. Gosh, I love that thing. This is my favorite right now. This being a close second. The full size probably could tie for second too, because either or, but this is just more comfortable than any other of the other case, period. And then of course the blade canting, like I've said before, I'm a sucker for that. Anyway, there's those two, and we'll see how that compares to the size of the mini trapper. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Look at that, I just dropped all my goodies out. Looks like they did indeed look, at least. Really should have went with the green. I was going to, and I should have, because they could have matched. Well, let's see what we got here. We have the pile side. And that's another thing, if you're not familiar with case, the jig bone will have these rounded pins on the back spring. The smooth bone and the synthetic will have a bigger pin, like diameter wise, just by a hair, but they're still flat. Just keep that in mind. So if you like that pocket jewelry look, and this guy's annoying, I really
You grab
get annoyed with my
405 to receive
for not shutting that off. It's off now, so I don't know why I always forget that. But anyways, let's look at the show side. That guy has the worst timing, I swear. So this is nowhere near as dark as the Stockman. I don't have the 75 on me to show you, but I think that was almost a burnt peach jig amber bone. Now that's super light on that show side. I prefer a little bit darker, but hey, it's unique in its own way, and there's a lot of natural bone showing, and I'm going to like it just as much, most likely. So here we go. And that's kind of my fault, because in my 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 saved notes, I always put the same thing. I say, find me a cover that looks different than the rest. That looks kind of wild, but that looks different. That almost looks like the dang caterpillar that stung me yesterday. One of those web weaving ones or whatever they're called, not the bagworms. They're like a moth. But anyway, let's see what we got here now. I almost tried to open the clip point or the sheep's foot the wrong way because getting used to that Stockman. That was actually pretty smooth, to be honest. Again, this is true sharp. See if we can show off the burr. It actually looks like a decent edge. I don't feel a burr on that one. So I'm going to assume that's really sharp. It doesn't feel quite as sharp as the clip point on the other one. The sow belly. Now this one here, these will have blade rub usually, so I'm going to try not to cut myself. Ooh, that one won't even open. That might be a nail breaker right there. Oh wow, how am I even going to open that one? Probably because this one's, yes, so that wasn't like the Stockman. The Stockman, I could have that canted a little bit in the back spring pressure, but this I cannot, obviously, and that probably wouldn't even really want to shut, for being honest. So we are probably getting a little blade rub off of the clip point as well. You get minor rubbing on the sow belly, so if rubbing bothers you but you like the Stockman, I'd go sow belly. This one does feel like it might have a little burr on that side. Maybe not, but it's easier to feel than it is to see. You can see that there was some right there, some metal shavings. It feels super sharp though. This one would be the clip point that got me. So I don't know how this is on this knife, but my 75, I always have to open that blade and do that because they rub. If you don't, you'll see it right there. It'll rub worse. You just pull that out of there. And I've seen people pull it out of there and then keep this one closed and then they shut this one on top of it. It's like you just did exactly what was going to happen if you would have opened it the same way. So blade rub don't usually bother me, but I try not to do it on the brand new ones. And I did not check wobble. Zero wobble. And that's mainly I'm just trying to see if I can show knives new again, whatever it is, new again knives. I can never remember when I go to talk about them. And his first one. Said he's handled a lot of these, never had blade play. Look at the size of that spade blade. That's obviously going to be bigger. That's bigger than the sow belly. That's what's throwing me off because the sow belly is such a deep, not deep, tall. Let's say wide. I'd say more tall because wide would be more of that, and that's super thin. That's probably thinner than that one. I think it is, but it's taller. I don't worry about the blade rub on these so much. They're recessed in there, so you get a little bit when you're pushing it because they're thinner and it kind of pushes against the other blade. Other than that, that's pretty nice. And watch me, I'm about to do exactly what I said everybody else does. So here's the clip blade. Now we'll see. That's not a bad pull, probably maybe a 6. This one's opening easier. Then let's see the width wise, compare the width. It's hard to do when there's a steering wheel in your way. So it is just about as wide as the sow belly. Not quite as wide, might be not the same width actually. Blade play, 0. So far the new knives again, knives new again review guy, new again knives, maybe that's what it is still, I haven't showed him anything. I didn't look at this. There might be a little gapping there. spring. Maybe right there too, you see that. But that's nothing like horrible. I don't get too bothered by minor gapping, and I don't know what that was. That was my big boy here. I don't know why I keep doing these things with a bunch of knives on my lap, but it happens. So this is a serpentine pattern more so than the so they say these are about the same, but I can see the whatever it is, 5/8, 3 5/8 inches over the 3.5. I know some people say no, they're the same size. Mine measures the same size. I'm not saying it doesn't. It's pretty cool though. Well, I'm going to oil this thing up, and I'll let you know in the future which one I prefer. I can tell you right now, I don't know if it would take the place of the Trapper. That ain't too bad though. That clip, I keep wanting to call it everything but what it is. The sheep's foot is not that obtrusive on this. I can see why the new, again, knives guy said that it doesn't bother him as much as the sow belly. I'll give you a real fast tip, I suppose. And I just did what I told you other people do. I just opened it, but it'll get some rub there, but it's not as bad as on the carbon steels, because it's carbon steel, obviously patinas, and you see a big scratch, but you'll just see a white one if you get it in the right lighting. So here's the little tip, just from my experience, and not everybody's going to be the same. So if you have this blade open, and it's the same with the clip point, more so, I mean, it's going to be less obtrusive with the clip point because you're holding it like this. If you're holding onto this thing, these two fingers right here are the ones you should pinch it with, and just kind of rest your hand here. You won't have any issues doing whatever you have to do with this knife. This is just more of like a training wheel. I don't know. I'm going to call it training wheels. Call it same here. These two fingers kind of rest it there, especially on this blade because it's less obtrusive stuff in the way. And then of course you got your sheep's foot salve, and that's just, you can fully grip that thing. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, I'll see you later.